They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off.
Here back with another video. Have I got an update for y'all? So, I'll start off with the heater box. I've cut and put all my foam cushioning here, and I even hooked up my 12-volt battery to the blower. Made sure there was no leaks. There was a leak coming from here, but I stuffed it. Other than that, there's no leaks anywhere else except where it needs to come out of. Well, here it is leaking some, but I would imagine that's where, well, obviously the condensation comes out from, but I would imagine it needs some kind of free-flowing air, just so it doesn't get too damp and the air doesn't have a way to come out. That's just my guess anyways. Either way, this thing is not 100% leak proof, but I did my very best, and I want to say it should be a lot better than what it was. I did have to cut the strips of this foaming at certain intervals to, match the shape of some of the openings. But anyways, moving along. What I really wanted to get down to is, whoops, that's a piece of the old setup. I wanted to get down to this. So this is the old, this is the new. Obviously there are bits and places where it's broken. I'll have to replace these foam perimeters here for the vents, so you can see. I looked up how to take the cigarette lighter off, but for the life of me I couldn't do it. So I got frustrated and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna buy a new one. So I broke the outer ring and took it out. Anyways, so I'm going to toss this, but not before I take a picture, to kind of see where everything goes, make sure I didn't forget anything. And moving on over here, this is the actual support, metal support. Now it's starting to rust, or it's been rusting. What I want to go ahead and do, since I have it out right now, is I want to paint it. But before I paint it, I want to sandblast the whole thing, then primer it, paint it, or I'm not sure what kind of paint I'll use. I guess it doesn't really matter whether it's gray or black. But after I paint it, then I will put on its new plastic overlay. And then after that, the dash, obviously, the front piece. But for today, all I hope I'm doing is, well, besides cleaning up, I want to clean up some of this stuff to make more room so I can use my weights. I am going to try to test fit this. Hopefully I have everything routed right. I don't know if I do. Hopefully I have everything routed right. But I'm going to test fit it, see how it does. And if it fits right and nothing's in the way, nothing's binding, nothing's pinching, like for example these vacuum lines, then I will go ahead and hook up the AC and the heater core. Well, now that I think about it, I might go ahead and buy new heater core hoses, since those have been on since I don't know how long and they haven't been replaced. It's coming along. I've joked around this before. I mentioned it in another video of mine, but my, call it a dream, I guess. It seems a bit unrealistic at this time, but what I want to do to this truck, it'd be so cool. At first I was like, oh, what if I put my Camaro engine in here, supercharged LS3, or better yet, put a Hellcat engine in the truck. Well, now wouldn't that be something? Anyways, I mean, I'm perfectly fine just with doing a rebuild, because I've always wanted another opportunity on rebuilding the engine. So even if all I do on this truck is rebuild its engine, I'm happy. But we will see. All right, guys, stay tuned. To be continued. Hold on. Oh yeah, I gotta fit that in somehow later. All right, y'all. Oh boy. So we got a little bit of a scare from our baby girl, because she recently got a new toy from her grandma, and she had this key. Well, I'm holding it in my hand. she had this key and it got stuck in her thumb. I don't know for how long, but it was already, it wasn't purple, but it was starting to get swollen from what I could see, and it would not come out. So I called my girl and I was like, "Come here quick, I need you." And I showed her and I was like, "We need to put some oil on it or something." So I came over here and I got it was like the first thing that I could find. Garage door Pro Lube, sprayed it on there, spun it, and then tried to pull it out, but by then it was already too swollen. It would not come out. So thankfully, I had this. This is what I used. I used my Dremel with this little guy here, and we had to cut it. Here are the pieces. We had to cut it while she was holding her, and I even had to call the other kids to come help to kind of hold the key in place, because I didn't want to cut her, obviously, but I needed it to go far enough to where I could, break it easy. And as you can tell, it's the thinnest up here, so I had to actually make two. Well, really, I started three, but I really just two, and then those pieces broke off, and eventually it got off. So she's sleeping now, but oh man, I thought, like, it could have turned out differently. It could have been a trip to the ambulance, ER, I don't know, but I'm glad we got it taken care of, and just, yeah. So from now on, anytime we get a new toy, we are going to go through it and see anything potentially, dangerous. So lesson learned.